Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, June 14th, 2024. Let's take a look at the big picture, work our way into the day itself. Just a reminder that the one-year trend remains bearish below 216.09. In other words, any upward retracements into that vicinity should be considered sell opportunities, whether you're already long and you're unloading your Tesla stock for the time being, or you're playing the short side aggressively, because from here we can fall back to channel support that is presently in the low 100 area and closing in on that 101.81 excuse me, low from January of 23. I'm looking around to see if I actually show that channel bottom today, and I actually do. I'll give you a peek here. That is the channel bottom, 114.33, to the channel top that we presently see on the weekly chart at 216.09. But, I'm using different sets of highs. I just wanted to show you. I'll get back to that in a moment. So one of the interesting things that obviously occurred yesterday was pushing through meaningful resistance that is presently in the mid 180s, 185.88 to 186.59. Now we have the shareholder meeting, the annual meeting for Musk's pay package, and we'll see how that all pans out. I see some of the comments on YouTube, and why don't I elaborate on all that stuff? I like to follow the technicals exclusively. I know the fundamentals are fascinating and they can move the market, but the fundamentals aren't always predictive. You can have fundamentals that conform to bullish expectations, and the market begins to sell off shortly thereafter. I'm not saying that that's going to happen here. Let me just be sort of point blank frank that I don't see Tesla rallying through the rest of June to the 214.64 area unless we settle today above 186.59. And that could be a pay package that's considered bearish or bullish. But technically, if we close today above 186.59, I see a good go-long strategy for the next few weeks, or however long it takes to reach 214.64. It could be a matter of several days with what has occurred in this stock historically. So, yes, we could actually reach 214.64 by the end of next week or sooner if we settle today above 186.59. Until then, this is still your resistance. Despite yesterday's push through, it is still your sellable resistance. So if you went short yesterday, I think that is not an invalid approach, and I do think that this market can, over the next, I don't have it shown isolated, but over the next week or two, let's put it that way, we can fall to channel support at 161.91, which is really what I've been saying, that if you're selling the mid 180s, 185.88 to 186.32, you can anticipate the lower 160s and dropping. I think this is kind of our 1 to 3 week dynamic right now. So once again, if you are short at 186.32 or below it, if you're presently short, you can stay short so long as we don't close above 186.32 in anticipation of 161.91 over the next week or two. Now, once again, this could be over the next day or two, depending on volatility. Let's jump to this chart here, this mid-band channel resistance that we closed above, or actually we didn't close above it on Wednesday. We closed pretty much right at it. But this is really what we're looking at here. 176.32. If we open today below 185.88, 176.32 is in reach, and that can contain daily selling pressures. 176.32 can contain daily selling pressures, and from here we could round back up to 185.88 to 186.59 within just 1 to 3 days. So that is kind of your aggressive swing trade as we move into early next week, being short in the mid 180s and anticipating today perhaps 176.32. On the way down, I think Thursday's 181.23 low does offer a decent pivot point quality. So breaking 181.23, 176.32 is likely. Holding above yesterday's low of 181.23 will keep once again the 185.88 to 186.32 region in reach, where we can top out for the day. Top out perhaps through June and into July, as I've been saying. This is what I would call kind of a mid-term resistance that does allow this market to fall back to not only 161.91 over the next, say by the end of next week, but perhaps we can fall all the way back to this 114.33 and dropping channel bottom over the next several months. And if we were over the next week or two to close below 161.91, that would set up possibly a 3 to 5 week target at 114.33. Once again, closing today above 186.32. I see no good reason to be short Tesla. If your time horizon is anywhere from 3 to 5 days to 3 to 5 weeks, I do think within that time frame we should reach 214.64, which is on the daily chart what we find on the weekly chart at 216.09, where Tesla can top out through the third quarter and fall away again. There is a well-defined lower low, lower high dynamic that exists below 216.09. But if we were, and I don't see this today, but I guess you never know, right? If we were to close above 216.09, I have the 320s, 330s as our next 3 to 5 month objective. So closing above 216.09, good low for the year, 3 to 5 months bullish continuation into the 320s, 330s. But until then, respect the bear market that we remain inside of as the 1 year dynamic remains bearish below 216.09. Is there anything else for me to say? I'm going to take a quick look, I think, at this chart. This is the downside. So if we break or open today below 176.32, 168.20 is likely. That could be it for the day. But as I say, closing today below 176.32, this mid band here will keep 161.91 in reach within just a few days, which is considered, by the way, a 1 to 2 week target anyway, below 185.88 to 186.32. I hope this is all making sense. In terms of buying the market through the rest of June, on a weekly basis into later June, that is at 161.91. Until then, we could be topping out through the rest of June below the 185.88 to 186.32 region. Big pivot point here, and if we close above it, once again, expecting continued gains over the next 1 to 3 weeks, let's say. I said 3 to 5 before, but volatility is heightened right now, and I think within 1 to 3 weeks, 214.64 likely. But until then, holding below 185.88 will keep the 161.91 formation in reach over the next week or two, and the 114.33 formation in reach over the next month or two. I think that pretty much rounds it out. I'm going to leave it at that for Friday's Tesla report. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of that 5-day free trial, the 2 stock picks every week, the daily Q and SPY analysis, etc., etc., etc. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla report, and you have a great weekend.